Hello there everyone, Ashnflash here, and it was just Batman Day on the weekend, which inspired me to think up 10 ideas that I have for Batman sets that I'd love to see LEGO do in the future. They're not all necessarily generic based, comic book based, a lot of them are actually based off of different shows and movies and video games, so I think that it's sort of in line with what LEGO seems to like to do right now with Batman and DC. Obviously, DC is sort of non-existent at this point. I hope they're working on Superman Legacy sets right now. That would be really great, but, we'll have to wait and see. But let's go ahead and let's go through the list here of ideas. So spot number 10 here, we've got the Mad Hatter Steamboat or Glider. Why did I say that? Because I love the Mad Hatter. I don't know what LEGO seems to have against the Mad Hatter, both in DC and also with Disney. He's just not appearing in anything, and he's just such an iconic character, and I would love to see him get his own set. The idea of the steamboat is actually from the Lego Batman video game. And my friend Brody, or True Score, you can find him linked down below. He actually designed a couple of really cool Batman sets, and one of them actually featured the Mad Hatter Steamboat that I'm using here in the video because it's just like an updated high-def version of that really old model from 2008 that game came out. So yeah, I think it would be an excellent little set. It doesn't have to be a steamboat necessarily like this. I think anything could work for him and people would go nuts for it. But moving on now, spot number 9. This is the Batman Arkham Knight Batmobile. And if you didn't know, we actually have seen a model of this in Lego Batman 3. It was fully designed. I don't know if that was for a set. I don't know if that was just TT Games having fun. But regardless, ever since then, I have been wanting this. Obviously, I'm a big fan of the games, and I think that this would make for a phenomenal set. So this is sort of the start of a bunch of ideas that you're going to see a pattern for in this video. I would love a UCS large scale version of this, but I would also take a minifigure scale version of this, sort of like they did 2 years ago back in 2021 when we got a minifigure scale version, and then we would get like Batman and one other character. They were mostly villains there. So for this, I would love a Batman figure, and then on top of that, obviously I'd love the Joker so much, but I think if it's based off of Arkham Knight, we should get Arkham Knight. I think he would just be awesome. Like the bounty hunter Firefly helmet, it just works so well for him, and I have been wanting an Arkham Knight figure for so long. I would love to see that happen, and specifically with him, he could belong in spot 1 and 2. You'll see as we get up further on this list. Next up here, we've got this is sort of spot 8 and 7, the Dark Knight Rises Bat. That would be so cool. Again, whether it is a minifigure scale version of that set, whether it is a large scale, I think it would be so great. I think that it is time to go back to that film. I know they've focused on the first 2 movies so far. I think it would be great to get, especially minifigure wise. Even if it's just a remake of that original set, I think would work really well that we got back then. I would love to see a new Bane. I think that it was good back then, but I think they could do even better now. Be really awesome to see. And that ties into spot number 7, the Dark Knight trilogy Batpod. Whether or not this Batpod set could be based off of the Dark Knight Rises, I think that whether you want to include Bane's tumbler, the tan one, in that other set, or maybe have it with the Batpod, I think would be really cool to see. Then we could also get Catwoman for the first time. I think it's crazy that we never got her back then. I think it'd be really great to get here. But if you don't want to have it based off of the Dark Knight Rises, you could also have it be based off of the Dark Knight. I think with the Joker would be really great to get. And I would love, even if it was, give him a truck, but make it the ice cream truck from 2008 again. Maybe it's just my nostalgia for that original video game and just going back to 15 years ago. That would be really cool to see. I don't know how we haven't gotten anything Batman Beyond. It's just so beloved. I think that the design for that suit and just the concept of Batman from the future would be so great to get in a Lego set. A Batmobile, it's unlike any other Batmobile we would ever get. So I think that would be so cool to get. And then again, giving us, obviously, Batman, Terry McGinnis, and then also you could go the route of giving us old Bruce Wayne. I think that'd be cool, but I would love Joker or any other of those really cool futuristic Batman villains would be really great to get in that set. Spot number 5, this one's a little bit more that I have to talk about, and it's Wayne Manor. So I've got a lot of ideas for this. We've never gotten a Wayne Manor fully fledged set. I think that's absolutely crazy after over now 17 years of Batman. How have we not gotten this? That is crazy that there's never been a Wayne Manor centric set. I know that a lot of people are already commenting, well, we got Joker Manor. Yes, we did, but that's not quite the same. I think it would be phenomenal to get a Batcave set and then also a Wayne Manor set, have it be comic book based, but have them come out either the same time or a year apart that they can connect and go on top of each other, just like Jabba's Palace and the Rancor Pit. But a lot of people, and there might be some people realizing where I'm going with this, the Batcave that we just got this year has the ability at the top to have an expansion for Wayne Manor. And I would love a Wayne Manor to sit on top of that. I think that would be really, really cool. And the idea that I have with this might annoy some people, but I'm sorry. I love Batman Forever. What was my favorite one that I would watch when I was a kid. And I would love a Tommy Lee Jones Two-Face. I would love a Jim Carrey's Riddler. I think people would go crazy for those designs, and I've drawn them before for a CMF series. I think it'd be great. A lot of how they break into the Batcave was through Wayne Manor, so a lot of that ending there, a bit of it, takes place in Wayne Manor. So that would be really crazy to get a set based off of that to sit atop of this, since technically those movies are connected. I know in the comics that they've continued, they went back and did the Billy D. Williams Two-Face story and different things like that, but that would be so cool to get those characters, even if it maybe had a Batmobile too, the newer Batmobile there with Robin. Oh my goodness, I would love that so much. But again, it could be comic book based too. Spot number 4 is an advent calendar, and an advent calendar only works, though, if we're getting sets. What I mean by that is, yes, we did get a lot of sets this year, but they're all mostly 89 based. So if you look at Star Wars and Marvel, Harry Potter seems to do a lot of effort and create new figures, but specifically with those first two that I mentioned, they pluck figures from existing sets and they throw them in the advent calendar at the end of the year, or maybe they take figures from the year before, and that's how that works. DC can't really do that at the moment, but I think that it would make for an excellent set. I think I could see all the little micro builds, I could see all of the different builds. Again, I've actually created an advent calendar for Batman on the channel. I drew them a couple years ago. If you want to check it out, I'll link the playlist at the end. But I think that would just be so cool to get, and a large part of that is due to me wanting a Santa Claus Batman outfit, and that's because of the Lego Batman movie. Ever since that, I've been wanting that. So that would be really great to see at some point. But again, we need more sets. So next up, spot number 3, we have a Batman the Animated Series Batmobile. Again, whether it's large scale, minifigure scale, we just need it. I don't care how we get it. We need it. I would love those figures. I know, obviously, there is that set rumored to be releasing in 2024 that's going to be based off of Batman the Animated Series. So those figures there, I theorize that they are probably also going to be in other smaller sets, but this is just something that we need. I think that Batmobile is just so iconic, those characters, those designs, and I'd love to get that. Spot number 2, an Arkham Asylum D2C, and I think a large part of me wanting this, and if you looked at another video, I think I ranked this lower, but my perception on this has changed. I'm not saying that this should be based off the video games. I just want an Arkham Asylum, a large-scale, gorgeously designed model with just references to, sure, the video games, to other movies and different things. I feel like we were robbed of the Batcave this year. I think that I look at that and I think, wow, look at what we could have gotten. That could have been our Daily Bugle with 20 plus characters, and it sounds like that's what Avengers Tower is going to be too. So with this Arkham, like, just think of the characters we could be getting. Like, again, if they put the Punisher and Daredevil, people they seem not to want to put in smaller sets for kids. They want to save it for 18 plus. Think of everyone, all of the dark, crazy villains that Batman has, Professor Pig, Hush, all these crazy people that could go into that set would just be so great. I have been wanting Scarface and the Ventriloquist for so long now. I would love to get that. Hopefully at some point we return to Arkham and do something like that. Spot number 1, though, this is probably my dream Lego set ever, and it is a Gotham City set. Ever since Ninjago City, and I just saw how detailed they made that set and all the subsequent expansions they've gotten, I've been wanting a Gotham City. I close my eyes and I can picture it in my mind. I've actually been working on making my own for quite some time now over the years, completely redesigning it over and over again. But I think that would just be incredible. Just think of all of the different locations, little small versions like a GCPD, Iceberg Lounge, different people's apartments, and all of these cool references we could get in that set. Just think of like all of the references in the Arkham games and other video games, even the Lego games that they make to DC, like little Metropolis travel signs and things like that. It would just be filled with that. And again, it would be our answer to the Bugle, where we just get so many minifigures in this set, so many fun characters. It would just be incredible, and obviously we'd be able to connect to everything else. But that's the dream. That's currently the dream. Anything for Lego. But what do you think of this list? I would love to hear your ideas for top 10 ideas for Batman sets. Again, I tried my best to make these realistic because of what they seem to like to do. Tapping into the nostalgia and iconicity of different vehicles and characters. So I think these are pretty good choices that I'd love to see them do at some point. But what do you think of this all? Be sure to subscribe, turn on the bell notifications so that you don't miss out on future Lego, DC, and Batman set news and reviews, top 10 lists just like this one. I'll link a couple others here at the end, as well as that playlist for my advent calendar if you want to check it out. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Hope you all have a great day. I will see you all in the next one.